Hey, hi everybody. My name is Sarah Elise and I'm an astrologer in Toronto, Canada. And I am going to put this newsletter video out for my community today based on my understanding of what's going on tomorrow for our new moon in Taurus and the accompanying solar eclipse that will be happening approximately 4:41 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard. There's a solar eclipse. Okay, that's when it's at maximum. Now, the solar eclipse is happening in Taurus because our eclipses, let me give you a little bit of an instruction on what eclipses are. We all know what they are, but why do they happen? They happen because the sun and the moon come into either a new or a full moon close to the nodal axis of the moon. So within about 18 degrees of the nodal axis, I think it's 18 degrees that that they have to be within. The nodes of the moon are these 2 points that are defined by the place where the moon, which is orbiting around the Earth, comes into contact, or the ecliptic line that the moon orbits around. It kind of, you can imagine it's like a circle or a ring, and that comes into contact in 2 different places with the ecliptic line that the Earth makes going around the sun. So like these 2 ecliptic lines intersect, and they're going to intersect in 2 different places that are 180 degrees opposite each other. And these are called the nodes of the moon. And in astrology, the nodes of the moon are really, really important. Not in every system of astrology, but in the astrology that I practice, they're very, very important. And why are they important? Why are eclipses important? Eclipses only happen when the sun and moon come together or are opposite each other within a specific range of this nodal axis. So that's why eclipses only happen twice a year. There's a new moon and full moon eclipse that happens in the month of the new moon that's associated with one of the ends of the axis. This month it's Taurus because the sun is in Taurus. So we're having a new moon in Taurus. So we have an eclipse on the new moon, and then we'll have an eclipse on the full moon. And then we'll have it again in the fall, in the autumn, in October and November, when the sun is in Scorpio, right? Because the nodes of the moon are in Taurus and Scorpio. So later on in the year, in the autumn, we'll have a new moon Scorpio solar eclipse and a full moon Taurus solar eclipse, or lunar eclipse, a full moon Taurus lunar eclipse. In any case, I think what I'm trying to kind of make the point of is that the nodes of the moon are really important, and eclipses are moments in time when the story that's being told by the nodes of the moon changes, or something happens to kind of disrupt or reorganize the zeitgeist. Eclipses are these powerful gates, these really big changeovers, these turnings of energy. It's like when everything, if we're all kind of in this soup of cosmic dreaming, eclipses are like when the universal creatrix gets in there and she's like, I'm just gonna stir things up really, really intensely right now. And so eclipse gates are these times of transformation and these times of disruption and these times when things really can change a lot. And it's difficult to understand what eclipses are because they're a little unpredictable. But if you have planets in your chart that are within a specific orb of the eclipses, let's say about 10 degrees on either side of the eclipses, then they may impact you personally, right? They definitely impact us collectively. Absolutely. They change the game on a collective level. It's like they change the rules. And personally, if you are being impacted, they will also change you and your rules. When I have my nodal axis in Gemini and Sagittarius, and the nodes of the moon were in Gemini and Sagittarius in 2020 and 2021. And when I look back now in retrospect at the eclipses that happened each one happened somewhere very, very personal for me. And so at every single eclipse, there was a monumental change in the game for my life. There was a huge transformation that happened that I wasn't able to see really at the time. But once I integrated it, now looking back, 6 months away from the last one that happened in December of 2021, I can understand, I can see what happened now, right? I can identify it. So that's a little bit of what eclipses are like. Like sometimes the changes that come in, we don't really see them or understand them until a little bit later on, because it takes some time for the pieces to settle, for the chaos to settle, and for us to understand what the meaning was or what the point was. So let me very quickly remind you guys, I know a lot of you know this and some of you might not, but the way I like to look at the nodes, and many people like to look at the nodes, not all people, because truth is multiplicitous. The way that my system of astrology identifies the nodes is that they are the outer ranges of our storyline. They're like the grand drama that the collective is dreaming at the moment. I like to think about eclipses as the conversation that we're having in the collective, the thing that we are bouncing back and forth within, right? On a subjective personal level and also at a collective zeitgeist level. So the south node of the moon, generally speaking, represents the past, whatever that means. And the north node of the moon generally represents the future, whatever that means. What it feels like sometimes is that whatever energy is associated, whatever archetype is associated with the south node, that seems to present in a little bit of a like agonizing last ditch effort to hold on kind of way, right? Like, so we're kind of trying to leave that behind. So what we see come up are often a lot of shadow qualities of the south node. It seems to be like the worst of it in many ways. And sometimes what also arises are the lessons that we've learned from the past about it. And what generally comes in the north node archetype are Stephen Forrest calls the north node the remedy. He calls the south node the illness and the north node the remedy. And what I feel like that means is it's like the yin yang, right? The yin yang. There's going to be a dark and a white to everything. There's a black and a white. And the north node seems to represent what we're trying to get in alignment with in order to remediate past mistakes, past traumas, or past pitfalls within the archetype at the south. So if you can imagine, past karma is balanced by reorganizing to its opposite. So like we have to feel the past, but then reorganize to fill in the gap, in other words, and bring ourselves back into wholeness. So there's this conversation that happens between the nodes, and sometimes you're on one side and sometimes you're on the other side. And essentially what we're trying to do is see the whole thing so that we can understand the lesson. Now, what is the lesson associated with this nodal axis and perhaps with this eclipse? So it's going to happen at a collective level, and it's also going to happen at a personal level, especially if there's anything in your chart that is associated with this particular eclipse, which is at 10 degrees of Taurus. So if you have anything in the fixed signs between around 0 degrees and 20 degrees, it's going to be impacted by this eclipse. And then the next eclipse, which is happening, I believe, on the 15th, 16th of May, so late at night on the 15th and then into the wee hours of the 16th, in Eastern Standard Time anyway, there is a lunar eclipse happening at the full moon of Scorpio. And that one, I don't remember the actual, I don't remember the degree point. It's later. The degree point is later. Let me just look here. Oh goodness me. I am so sorry. I had it up a second ago, but now it is gone. It is May the 15th and 16th. Yeah, sorry. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. So in any case, what's going to happen to us this month is going to be something personal, or it's going to be something collective. So let's explore the collective for a second. let's explore what Scorpio and Taurus actually mean. And so then as I describe them, perhaps you can kind of locate or find some kind of a resonance in yourself about how, like what that's bringing up for you. Okay, so Scorpio is an archetype of wanting to go beyond your own boundaries and merge with more. Okay, at an esoteric level, Scorpio is the battle between the personality and the soul. It's where our personality fights, wants to hold on, and the soul is like, nope, you can let go. And there's a battle, right? And so the personality lets go and the soul comes in, and the personality becomes more than it was before. It becomes the soul. Wow. So it's this act of alchemical transformation. In a South Node aspect, however, it could be things like ways that we've misused power, ways that we are hungry for more power, ways that we want to take what's not ours, ways that we want, like inequity of power, for instance, or having power over, and then someone having power over you, or you having power over someone, power over, power under. It could also be the way that our desires, I like Scorpio is ruled by Mars and by Pluto, the way that we desire more than we have, more than we need, the way we desire what's not ours. Okay. Taurus, on the other hand, is how we value what is ours. It's how we take care of ourselves. It's enough here. It's that quality of, no, I don't need more than what I am. I am enough. I have everything I need inside me. I have everything I need, and what I need is good, and I can trust that I know how to survive based on what I have inside myself. I don't need anything else. And in fact, I'm autonomous, right? Taurus is very autonomous. It's very self-organized. It's very self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency lives in Taurus. The ability to meet our own primal needs, like our own basic survival needs, lives in Taurus. Whereas Scorpio is actually doesn't know whether it's gonna get its needs met, because it thinks it needs something outside of it in order to actually be what it wants to be. So there's always there's a lot of chaos that lives in Scorpio, right? If you imagine, it's that hunger, nobody needs a Prada purse. Nobody needs it, but you want it. You lust after it. Why? Because you want the power that it gives you, right? The power symbol. Scorpio is about wanting that symbol of power, wanting more. And Taurus is about, no, thank you. Humility. I have enough. I value what I have. I might hold on to it, but you know what? It's mine. I don't need anything else. I'm enough. Another way to look at it is Scorpio is chaos and Taurus is peace. Scorpio is hunger and Taurus is satiety. It's enoughness. Okay, it's feeling safe. Scorpio is danger and destruction and war, and Taurus is peace and simplicity and calm. Okay, Scorpio is excitement. Taurus is boredom. You can feel the difference here. Okay, Scorpio is disembodied because it's energy and it's emotion and it's power. Taurus is embodied. It's earth. It's stable. It's grounded. It's simple. It's strong. So this is the conversation that we're having in the collective right now, right? We're watching sort of like these tyrannical, powerful symbols kind of rise up and try to take more than is their share. And maybe there's a way inside you as well that you're facing into parts of you that don't feel safe and feel like they need more, that they're hungry for something else, that they want to get bigger, that there's like a restlessness, right? Maybe there's even a fear or a threat. And it's like an inner, there's an inner chaoticness, a chaos feeling, right? Of an instability that lives within the Scorpio archetype at the South. Perhaps you can track that in yourself. Perhaps you can track the fear that you feel, like the threat. Scorpio is very, very, very sensitive to threat. it is hyper aware of any way that power might be used against it. And it will often jump and misuse, like, and it will defend itself before it can get hurt, right? So there's like this rising up to kind of preempt the harm. There's also this kind of almost a diabolical side to Scorpio sometimes. There's like this ability to sit back and just wait for the perfect moment to come in for the kill, right? Like there's a lot of dark energy that's associated with Scorpio, very under the surface, manipulation, planning how to get what you want, you know, like planning how to get revenge, planning how to, it's a little icky in there sometimes. So if you can acknowledge how that archetype is showing up for yourself, I mean, I can see it in the collective for sure. I can definitely see it in the collective. We can see it in the war in the Ukraine, right? Depending on the side you take. But it seems to me as though Mr. Putin doesn't need Ukraine, but he wants it, right? And he's willing to do whatever he can in his diabolical way to take it and to prove that he's more powerful than it. And he's going hard for it, right? So there's this war raging that's kind of showing us in our face a misuse of power situation. And what does everyone want to do? They want peace, or they want stability, or they want safety. And so we're trying to hit him where it hurts. We're trying to hit him in his pocketbook, or we're trying to hit him in his currency, but it's not stopping him. So anyway, I'm not political, and I do not even have a working television. That's just a lie. That's just a lie. I don't even watch. I can't bear it. So please don't come to me for political information. You can come to me for archetypal information. And what I am suggesting right now is that the collective is moving from chaos to calm, and that this eclipse tomorrow may bring a change. The Uranus is conjunct the eclipse, a change in the state of peace, or the state of calm on the planet. Also, it may bring an abrupt change to our resources on the planet. Taurus rules money. Uranus on the new moon could mean a new understanding of the state of our current global resources. Saturn is squaring the nodal axis. So in EA, that's called a skipped step. And it means that within the storyline, within the nodal axis storyline, there is an organizing principle that is changing, that we have to bump up against in order to kind of reorganize ourselves toward peace. We have to take responsibility, Saturn, for the collective in some way. So I feel like there are collective decisions that might be made around whether or not we will stand, whether or not our values, what we value, what we believe we need to survive, whether or not our values align with the way power is being misused and abused right now. And perhaps we'll see some government regulations or some rules in place, or some changes in the way we are organizing ourselves collectively, right, in order to facilitate peace rather than harm. I really feel that, this North Node eclipse could bring changes to the way we move toward safety. And I hope that these are changes for the best. I really, really, really do. We have a lot of Pisces, 4 planets in Pisces right now. Mars in Pisces is sextiling the North Node eclipse, or the new moon eclipse. Mars in Pisces is not the most effective use of Mars. It may be quite ineffective, actually. I mean, our actions might be a little bit more nebulous, or may even be fruitless, but at least we have this underpinning, or this awareness, and like this unbelievable level of compassion that is available to us right now, with Jupiter, Venus, and Neptune all conjunct in Pisces. We are bleeding over with emotion and compassion for the suffering that's existing on the planet. And it's my prayer that, we'll be able to find a little bit more of a stable ground to stand our own, to say no to tyranny, to say no to the oppressor who wants to take us and who stands for death, right? That's what Scorpio is. It's about death. It's about transformation, but not always in a good way, right? When it's associated with the South Node, it can be very, very dark, right? I was a little worried about this year, and now I understand why. So the personal call that I'm feeling right now, when I tune into the eclipse and when I track it, my soul is working with me to come into my body. Okay, right now the information that I'm receiving is about just stay present, just be really, really deeply embodied. And what I'm learning about in my dream time and in my meditations is that the things that I value most are the things that keep me safe, that my lifeline can be found within me, not without. And that we need to reevaluate what matters to us right now, to know that we're enough, just as we are, that we need to quell the hunger for more and the feeling that we're somehow like under threat. We need to find safety inside and know that we are fully resourced. And my resources are going to look different than yours. I will have a different amount of money than you, right? I have different needs than you. This whole concept of comparison based on resources is so beyond my conception, right? What you are inside, the values you hold will create the reality that you live. And when we're in alignment with our deepest self, when we're in alignment with our values, when we feel like we are enough and we are what we are and we matter, we create a life that brings to us exactly what we need. Taurus rules our needs, not our wants. I mean, Taurus can get greedy sometimes, but in a North Node position, right, I feel like it is about understanding our needs, our true needs, and becoming more minimalistic, right? Less excessive, less greedy, less desirous of more. Okay, so anyway, these are some thoughts that I've been having. I'm not sure whether this will be accurate for you because we're all going to be interacting with this energy differently, but I'm only here to share my lens into the reality. So I hope this was helpful to you. And that's it. I will leave you at that. Enjoy the eclipse. If I was to give you any recommendation, it might be to ease back your energy at around 4:50 in the afternoon, or it's 4:41 in the afternoon tomorrow, Eastern Standard. So that would be 1:41 Pacific Standard. And to just like set the alarm on your clock or on your phone and take a few moments to breathe through the eclipse and just receive. Okay, it will be very intense, very deep, very dark. It's not a time to manifest and activate. It's a time to receive and go deep, go dark. Okay, it's a time to go empty. And all blessings with you. Enjoy the adventure, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks at the full moon. Okay, that's it. Bye, everybody.